Well, good afternoon. Can you all hear me? Okay. I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with us all day long. I hope you've been here all day. I hope you've heard some great things about what you can take back to your schools, back to your communities, back to your homes about bullying. Our theme this year was Beyond Awareness and talking about tips and strategies and equipping those in the community to be able to move forward and do something about bullying. I am so pleased to introduce some of our closing presentations and sessions. And we have on the stage with us some communication studies students. They have graciously and beautifully put together a performance. But let me tell you a little bit about this. Let me introduce the students first. I didn't really come up with a speech prepared, I'm sorry. Chantrell Nealon, Darnell Tyms, Kelly Ann Hennessy, Jessica Lyles, and they are students in communication studies. They're also my students, and I'm very, very fond of all of them, and I think you all will be at the end of this presentation too. But about a year, 2 years ago, I teach a communication research course, and all of us decided that one of the meaningful topics that we would like to explore was bullying. And we discovered that stories oftentimes were very powerful, and that when we tell stories about bullying, it wasn't just a story that we were telling, but we were telling a perception of who we are, but our stories take on lives of their own, and they equip us to either handle bullying effectively or not so effectively. And so students decided that we wanted to collect these stories to see how people are experiencing them, what they're doing about bullying, and then how they can empower themselves and others to move beyond bullying. And so today these students have put together not their stories necessarily of bullying, but they're blending multiple voices, multiple stories all together in one, and they're taking multiple perspectives, not just student stories, but we have student victims of bullying, we have the bully's perspective, we have the teacher's perspective, we have the parent's perspective, because I hope what you've discovered today is that we're not in bullying alone, but we're in it together. That is, the bullies, the victims, the parents, the teachers, everyone in the community, we are in it together. And I want to thank the students for doing this beautiful, beautiful presentation about bullying and providing a real face to these experiences. Also after this performance, we do have the EIU dancers who will be performing to Titanium, another very inspirational performance to celebrate this conference and what we hope that you all can take away from it. And after the end of that, I know that we're going to do the pledge and the balloon release, and Kyle Davis, I don't know, Kyle will explain a little bit more about that. But you should have gotten the pledge cards in your folders. If you still have those, you can use those. If not, Kyle has said he does have extras, and we will hand those out to you as well. So without further ado, again, thank you all for coming, and I'm going to turn it over to the students.
Stop. Growing up, I was always the awkward, skinny girl who played the trombone and wore glasses. I was constantly teased and tormented because of it. We all know that girls have the potential to be mean, but these girls, man, I can remember it like it was yesterday. I hated waking up every single morning because I already knew what to expect. I feel like everyone found pleasure in making me cry. This torture I was experiencing was something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, and I couldn't escape it. In the hallways, in class, on the school bus, I just wanted it to end. If only I had a friend, someone, anyone there for me. I couldn't do it on my own.
I first met her in 3rd grade, and she was a little different from everyone else. She was a very skinny, frail girl with the glasses, and everyone got a kick out of making her cry. At this time, I thought it was a little funny, but never partook in it. For the next 4 years, I played trombone in the band with her and sat next to her the whole time because we were the only 2 trombone players. At first, I wasn't too thrilled that I had to sit next to her, but after a while, I got to know her better and realized that she was a pretty cool kid. By the time we graduated 8th grade, I don't think there was a day that went by where she didn't get made fun of to the point of crying. The thrill it gave other people when they made her cry was the reason for the bullying. I stood up for her and told others to stop, but the teachers weren't aware or they weren't persistent in stopping it.
I was Jane's teacher. I saw students make fun of her from time to time, but she never asked for help. I would step in when I could, discipline students, but when I pulled her aside, she said things were fine. I tried to help. I tried to talk to her. I tried to discipline those I saw partaking in the teasing. I honestly thought I did all I could do. I didn't know how bad the problem really was. Thinking back, maybe there was more I could have done. I could have talked to Jane more. I could have followed up with her, even after she said things were fine. I should have contacted her parents. Maybe they could have reached her.
Growing up, Jane was always an outgoing student and had many friends. It wasn't until middle school that I noticed a change in her attitude. Jane stopped talking and communicating and interacting with her friends. I would ask Jane if there were any problems at school, and she would respond, "I'm fine." I felt that there was more that I could do, but Jane's teacher said that she was still a good student. I thought it was a phase that kids go through in school and that it would pass, so I stopped asking questions. I didn't know the bullying was getting worse.
I was sent to the principal's office. It was in 2nd grade. After it had rained for a few days and we were finally allowed to go out for recess on the playground, there were swamps of mud everywhere. When we picked up where we left off, Jane came over and asked what we were doing and if she could play. I remember my friend telling her to go find her own stick and then maybe she could join. When she left for the field with the trees to find her own stick, my friends and I huddled up and talked about how much we didn't want her to play and how much of a freak she was. We decided that she had to do one more thing before she could play. When she returned with her own new stick, I personally informed her that she would have to first eat mud. At the time, I didn't know what I was doing. We were just having fun. I didn't think that what I was doing caused her pain. If I could go back, I would have stopped. I really would have.
My name's Chantrell. I played the role of the victim, and I can't stress enough how important it is to keep all lines of communication open when dealing with bullying. Most times, victims of bullies feel so alone, like they have no one to turn to. Consequences can be catastrophic, as we've seen in instances like this narrative. We've read some in class where, for instance, our story that we read, it's actually a little boy, and we just changed it, to suit me. I'm a girl, clearly. But he later died. His mother found him, or he was playing the piano, and his mother found him, or heard the piano stop, and he had fallen to the ground. They never really found out his cause of death. And in that narrative, it was written by a witness who did, tried to stop it, and what he believed was that the little boy died from, depression. And it's very possible that that was what it was. The doctors never found a reason. So we all know the saying, if you're not a part of the solution, then you're a part of the problem. And I can't think of another statement that coincides with this topic more than that.
The first portion of the narrative that I read was from a witness's perspective. All of us have been the witness. Most of us have been victims. it's a pretty hard thing to try to intervene, especially if you're growing up when you're in elementary school, junior high. Um, a lot of people are afraid to intervene because then all of the attention might turn around and they'll be the focus and they'll be the victim. But I'd just like to encourage everyone to be proactive. If you notice someone being bullied, please say something. Don't let one person's world of hurt continue because you just simply ignored it.
Hi, I'm Kellyanne, and I took the section that was the role of the teacher. The point of the session today is to bring awareness about bullying and see what we can do and how we can take action to it. And what we did is we did it through the voices of students. We read through different stories as these two have talked about. And personally, I had the chance to talk to some 7th grade middle school girls here about their thoughts on bullying and what they saw in their schools. And when it came to teachers, a common statement that we heard and saw through the readings and through talking to these girls were the students felt like the teachers weren't doing anything, or that if they did tell the teacher, nothing was going to be done. Now, this doesn't mean that teachers are out there and they're not trying to prevent bullying or aren't trying to do everything they can for bullying to stop. And if we look back to the narrative that we did, I said a bunch of times, I tried this, I tried that, and somehow I felt like I did all I could do, and somehow that still wasn't enough. And what the students really are looking for is teachers to be vocal with them about it, to sit with them and to say, this is what I've been doing, this is what I've been trying to do, to follow up with them even after the problem looks like it's over, because it might not be, to ask them, is there anything else I can do? This is what I've been doing, and what more can I do for you? Kids are going to respond more if they're felt like they're in the loop and that you're really connecting with them and that you really care. So.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I'm a part of the scene you just saw for today. I had the parents' perspective in the skit, and what we really tried to stress in the skit as for a parent is just keeping that line of communication always a two-way door. I think a lot of times parents, we think that your child has to come to you or tell you that something is wrong for there to be a problem. And a lot of times it's just picking up on those nonverbals and, hearing like the parent in the narrative, Jane, as we depicted Chantrell, her teachers said that she was still a good student. So from her, parents' point of view, thought that, well, she's still getting good grades. I still see her doing this and this and that. But on the inside, Jane was really struggling with something. So what we found in a lot of the stories was that kids were having a hard time telling parents because they were scared that their parents would then take the control of the situation away from them. And then what would happen is that this situation would be dealt with from a parent's point of view and not their own point of view. So what we are just trying to get an awareness is just keeping all lines of communication open with teachers as well as parents, that we're making sure that the victim of bullying is being heard and how they want the situation to be handled, what is happening, and what we can do to stand up for them and not necessarily in their eyes make the situation worse.
And the last portion that I read, it was from a bully's perspective, because we need to remember that bullies are humans too. They aren't these villains that are causing trouble. They too are being affected by this ongoing problem. Something in their own life is causing them to inflict pain on other people, unfortunately. Anyone is capable of being a bully, whether you're skinny, frail, big, tall, male or female. We all are. So we need to continue to be advocates, teaching one another to value and appreciate other people, period, point blank. When we do this, we can only hope that other people will think about how their words and their actions truly do have an impact on other people's lives. Thank you.
Okay, I have been told the EIU dancers are here and they're getting ready to come on stage. And Dancing to Titanium, I've never heard the song, but I think we're going to hear it today.
You shot it out, but I can't hear a word you say. I'm talking loud, not saying much. I'm criticized, but how your bullets ricochet. Shoot me down, but I get up. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Far away, ricochet. You take your aim. Far away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. Coming down, but it's you who have further to fall. Ghost town, haunted love. Raise your voice, sticks and stones may break my bones. Talking loud, not saying much. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Far away, ricochet. You take your aim. Far away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am Stone heart, machine gun, firing at the ones who run. Stone heart, those bulletproof glass. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I am titanium.
All right, so what we're going to do now is just the final thing before we leave. So thank you all for coming again. I hope you learned some things. I hope you got some new ideas for different ways to use, different strategies to use in your classrooms, or different ways to prevent bullying, because that's what we're here for. So we're going to read the pledge, and then there's balloons out here that you've probably seen out in the whatever you call this, entryway. And each balloon has a card on the bottom of it, and there's a table with a bunch of ink pens on it. So what I'd like for you to do is, on your card at the end of your balloon string, write the name of a person who fits into this pledge, who you are going to support, who you are going to stand up for, who you are going to help to get through a bullying situation, okay? And then we're going to all go outside. I don't think it's raining right now. It is cold. But we're going to go outside and release the balloons together. So the plan is to get your balloons, write your name on there, and then we're going to go down these main stairs and go out the door. Once you get downstairs, there'll be volunteers there to help you, direct traffic volunteers. You got that? And then we're going to walk out to the quad right out here. There's a diagonal sidewalk that runs between here and the library. We're going to stand on that sidewalk so that we're away from trees because we don't want the balloons to get caught in the trees. And then we'll release the balloons together. And that will be it. Any questions before we do that? All right, so we'll all just read the pledge together now. Does everybody have a copy of the pledge? Okay, we do have a few extras if anybody needs it. Okay, so I'll lead us in the pledge. And this, feel free to share this pledge with others. Use it in your classroom if you need to, whatever. It's, we're trying to get others aware and help to end this problem. So, now we'll do the pledge. So everyone together, I'm sorry. I know that speaking up for someone is the right thing to do. I will listen and support anyone who seeks my help. I will help those who experience bullying by intervening or contacting the appropriate authority figure. I will work with others to create a bully-free environment, and supportive environment, I'm sorry. I care and I can be an advocate for change. I raise my voice to say, in my world, there is no space for bullies. So, now if you can head out that way and get your balloons.